There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team. Called the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam show for Tuesday, February 11th. If you like college basketball, today is your day. If you don't bet college basketball until after the Super Bowl, today is definitely your day. If you're like me and you like to bet college basketball, you'd like to just put last night aside and get to a great slate like tonight. I don't know if I can find any winners from last night's card, but we'll try to come through today and need your help in college basketball. NBA was the story from last night, obviously. Luka comes in, donates $500,000 to fire relief, and then goes out and just looks terrific, even if it was in short time. Look, that news came out that he was going to be limited in the number of minutes he would play, but those minutes he did play looked outstanding, had a great rapport with James on the court. Now, to be fair, we'll see in the coming weeks when they're exploited by some real teams out there, how that'll work out. And we saw last night, they tried to, Charlotte's a little upset. They want that trade to go through, but it was the Lakers, remember, that rejected the physical of Williams, but nonetheless, it made a little bit of a story there yesterday. But LA led by 15 points early and basically just cruised to the victory there. That was the big story of the day, I thought, yesterday, despite some college basketball action as well. So got some great tennis action going on. The tournament in Doha, Qatar is really hot right now with the ladies action. Just saw Coco Gauff go down to Marta Kostyuk just a few moments ago in a bit of an upset there. Qinwen Zhang in action right now. It's a good tournament if you like women's tennis. This is as high a level as it gets. Helps to offer a little money in there. And how you folks doing today? Go to the chat, see what's up. We got a 4-game NBA card tonight. Nothing special, but it's all about college basketball. And we'll preview the first 4 games of the Champions League. We're in action today with our coverage of Champions League. And I'll go over the first 4 games here for Tuesday. We're having some bigger coverage, I believe, on Wednesday. Remember, this is the knockout round, but you got home and homes here. So you got to do it once on the road. You got to do it once at home. And we'll preview the 4 games today in Champions League. I want your picks if you have them available. All right, let me go to the chat. We're pretty fire things up in here. Make sure I'm ready to go. We got to turn on the comments from everybody. Make sure we get that drawing. Hopefully we'll have a consensus play today. We didn't make it there yesterday, probably with the way the card's been shaped out here, especially in the colleges there yesterday. All right. Oh, here we go. Now I'm ready. Going to start off with Twisted. He's ready to go with his college basketball plays. And look at these plays. I mean, they got Texas, Kansas State, Kentucky, Florida. What's Northern Illinois doing in there? Just kidding, Twisted. Great card. Just want to accentuate those incredible games that we have today, but no disrespect to our Northern Illinois action there. Joe W. in the chat. And Thomas Lewis says, good morning. Welcome to the show. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Also, Donut here today. Bobby Mack here today. And Robert said, yeah, that news came out, right? And the books, the books started to adjust fairly quickly. Really, they just ended up juicing the regular numbers, it seemed like, that were out there on Luca's stats. Still, if you had it stats per minute, he's pretty great. But yeah, that would really help make up for a poor day. Super True here, Blue, Lando as well. T-Moss came through. I'm glad somebody here was winning. All right, Jermaine is here as well. There's Sub. I'm sure he's going to come through momentarily. He'll give us some hope. Maybe he'll give us some action in the Champions League. If not, I've got some plays lined up here as well. I do have also a BIP package over there with my free picks. Or I think they're on the. No, I have them behind the paywall there. Just want to mention that my UEFA Champions League. I'll go into my commercial here. I think I could do it right now. Joe T's here. Okay, yeah. If Sub has some plays, you can put them in the chat. If not, I do have my premium picks over at winnable.com for today's Champions League 4-pack. I've got 3 plays up there right now, but these are behind the paywall this time around. Maybe I was a little too hot last time. These guys crushed it. I know that when we had our live stream with the 18 games and that next to last regular season group play broadcast. But we'll have action here for the next 2 days. We get rolling. Champions League. Remember, the best teams got to buy, or the teams that have the best records got to buy. And now we got to play down. So we got these guys playing home and homes before we get back to the next round. So it's going to be some fun in the Champions League here in the weeks to come. I got my plays over at winnable.com. Click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you over to my Winnable sales page, and there you'll see the subscription, $4 a day, $8 a week, $19.95 a month is how you support me here on the channel. If you don't want me to do any more shows, don't subscribe. That'll solve that. If not, you'll get some great content from me with more plays in all sports every day, especially the major sports are behind the paywall. I have a free subscription over there as well. I had some tennis up there today, and already I have another match coming up. Wasn't happy with the first results, so you can check it out. Though I've had some pretty good results in tennis over there. All right, and some other leagues as well. So thank you for listening to that, and that's how you support me here on the channel. All right, and there's the address right there. It'll take you right to this page, just like this on your phone. And there I am right there, and the plays kind of come right up there. Also, you can see how to subscribe there to the subscriptions, but also the free plays there, where I have some tennis up there today. And then it comes in looking pretty crisp, just some text there, but comes up there with some tennis picks and everything. You might see my next pick up there for today. And that's free, actually, over there at winnable.com. And then if you want to get the subscription picks, that's great as well. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. We're going to do all 4 games. We don't have our hockey just yet, but we'll get rolling here in hockey quickly tomorrow with the 4 Nations event with Sweden versus Canada on Wednesday. Canada minus 235, 6 under 20. And, of course, after that, Finland and the United States. Watch out. United States, watch out. Finland is plus 275. I'll already tell you. I already put Finland 7-1 to win it all. Canada's awesome. I'm sure they will win it, but I couldn't pass on 7-1, and I'm probably going to find a way to Finland in that first game against the United States. We'll see. 5.5 is the total in that one. USA minus 330 there at the Four Nations Championship. All right, and Mikey was doing a great job covering the format yesterday. You guys helped me with that format as well. At least see, how it plays down the tiebreaker we were talking about. We had it down, and then Mike, you told us about the overtime, the 10-minute shortened overtime. Really kind of like that. I don't know if that'll, in the playoffs, there's no need, right? You're looking for a goal, but. And how about the Bean Pot last night? How about BU? That's where the Bean Pot belongs. Knocking off Boston College last night. Wow, I love the Bean Pot tournament. I think I love it more than the NCAA tournament. I love the Bean Pot tournament so much. I've been covering the Bean Pot tournament for so long. And to see BU win again, of course, BU won. But, man, what an upset over number 1 Boston College to get that Bean Pot. A spectacular performance last night by the Terriers. Did anybody watch the Bean Pot? I can remember back in the day when I managed that 543-seat restaurant, I'd pack 100 people in from Boston to watch Bean Pot games on a giant satellite dish. And now it's just on regular ESPN Plus. So, all right, say hello to a few more folks in here. And here is Subhuman with that pick. Let's see what it is with Paris Saint-Germain and their matchup today. If Sub likes it. All right, let's see there. So Sub on Paris Saint-Germain there. I might have to look, I'll let Sub take PSG, and maybe I'll give out the total when we get there. James Parm, not that I'm agreeing or disagreeing. I just want to give us some more plays on the game here today. Daddy Beats, hello. And Joe T says we've got two. We're our polls today. I think we run pretty hot, is what Mike tells me, with our polls over on I think it's called the community tab again. What is going on here? Is it community tab or is it posts? But you know what I'm talking about. Go to that special tab on YouTube and click on it to get involved in our polls on there with our top 20 matchups for our big exciting card tonight. Oh gosh, here we go with Sub here with more action
system play
today. Okay, with over in Dortmund and Lisbon. That might be our pick then, Sub. I like that. I think I like that. And a Real Madrid team total over there in the game against Man City. So sounds like Sub may not mind Real Madrid to hang in the game there with Man City today. All right. And remember, everyone, now there's a little bit different strategy when you're talking about a first game of a two-leg, right? I mean, sometimes you could be more conservative. You could be more all-out. All right, and Scotty Barnes out here. He's got an over. Sub's got some more information for us, some other action today as well. And Twisted with his NBA to get us going here. There's some steam coming in right now, I got to mention, with Detroit and Chicago tonight in NBA action. The steam is coming in on the under right now in this game with Detroit and Chicago. It was 238.5. I think we're down to 237 here at some spots. It might even go down another point, I'm thinking. There's been some wild action on the totals. I'll explain when we get to the NBA segment here. But steam coming in on the under right now with the Pacers and the Bulls. We'll keep you up to date on any steam because that's what we do here on the Morning Steam Show. Don't let anybody in the chat tell you otherwise. Good morning to Gerardo today. He'll have some soccer, hopefully his insight as well here on Champions League today. There's also one game in the FA Cup, Nottingham and Exeter. CONCACAF Champions League tonight, but the matchups aren't too swift. Championship play as well. Good card in championship play. Amsterdam, what else is here? Gerardo's got his picks. What is G saying? I'm going to write all these down from our crew today. He says PSG and over. So more backing of PSG here, right here from our crew. Man, it's almost unanimous with PSG in the game against Brest. And, of course, they are a pretty big favorite. And here you're saying, add this to the over 2.5. I kind of like that over there. I think over is going to be pretty popular in that game. Although I do think that there is some maybe some trends that favor this under here, but everyone seems to be going over. And what else here? Real Madrid's and both those games, BTTS, got it. Man City, Real Madrid, the total there is 3, shaded to the under. And then the Dortmund against Lisbon game, it's 2.5, I believe, over at minus $1.35 or 40. But a BTTS parlay there between those two says pays $1.30. Thank you, Gerardo. All right. Great conversation of the soccer there in the chat. Jermaine's got some props. I better step on it here and get going. I was going to read off my winners from yesterday. That won't take too long. Hello to Doubles as well. And then we'll get going with the show. Because, like I said, the news came, I thought, from, the NBA there with the debut of Luka and the everybody got the 77 shirts. Even Dirk Nowitzki went to the game. He says, I got to support my guy, the greatest Maverick of them all. And then, of course, the ownership, the new ownership, and some of the comments came from Dallas and said, Luka doesn't show some of the tendencies of some of the greatest players, and they basically named Jordan, Bird, like the 4 greatest players, Kobe. Like, okay, what was he, number 5? Not that he's in that group just yet, but they said he doesn't show the championship and mentality like these 4 super all-time greats, right? Like, come on, you had Dirk. That's the thing. They didn't even mention Dirk Nowitzki in the grouping of players that Luka couldn't match up to. So just look at whose bed you're sleeping in, or don't throw rocks through glass houses or something like that if you're the Dallas Mavericks. All right, we did have some winners here on the show yesterday, but they were few and far between. They were mostly actually the main card. We did crush it pretty good, but man, everything went disaster for me in my favorite conferences. North Carolina and Clemson, we did have the premium pick winner. I'm sorry, the pick here on the show over. Mikey had the winner with Clemson yesterday on pre-gaming. He said go with the Tigers, and they rolled. Also, we had the winner, North Carolina A&T and Campbell game to go under here on the show. Another show winner for me was Houston, rocking Baylor yesterday. And we also, how about Mikey had the winner with Nevada yesterday. He got the better of me again. So maybe that's just it. Maybe I'm on tilt right now because of the Super Bowl and Mikey giving me a scolding here to keep me on the show. All right. We did have a premium pick winner. We had one premium pick winner out of a bunch of games. It was a disaster. Everyone will be extended in premium land. Stephen F. Austin over UT Rio Grande Valley. That was the winner. We did have a winner here on the show, Bethune-Cookman and Texas Southern over, and that was it. NBA, though, we did have some winners for sure. Cavaliers over the Timberwolves. We laid it. here with the Cavs on the show, Spurs and Wizards. We did have the over here on the show as a winner. Also a winner on the show, Celtics and Heat game to go under. Pelicans and Thunder, we had that one as a winner here on the show. Game total under yesterday. And Mikey Money had the Warriors over the Bucks yesterday to send me down to defeat again. And then the Portland and Denver game to go over on the show. That was our winner, and that was that. All right, let's go to the NBA and get our show started here with our coverage. And get your pens, papers, and rotation orders ready. Terrell likes the Lakers, but the thing is, I mean, they're obviously the talk is, or who is going to play in the middle, and what can they match up against teams, or do they, can you survive without a full complement of good players? Terrell likes the way Luka blends in. They overmatched Utah there. And how about the chant? They had the fans gathered. You probably had some of our favorite Dallas Mavericks friends going down there. He's not fat. Bring him back. He's not fat. Bring him back is what the fans were chanting in Dallas in a pregame, I don't know, was it a protest? Twisted's got a bunch more plays. I'm just about ready to go. There's some steam coming in right this second. College basketball, Loyola Chicago in their game against Richmond. Steam coming in at -4. It's going up to 4.5 or higher here right now. Loyola Chicago taking the steam here against Richmond. All right. I'm going to the NBA now to get things started. We only have a 4-game card. There's only so much we can do. Raptors at Sixers. Here in this one, you got the Sixers favored by 9. And the total here is not 255. I know these totals were getting a little crazy last night, but that would be breaking news. But we can call it 225.5, I think is fair. At this point. In fact, if anything, this one's actually gone down on some widely reported steam here in this one between the Raptors and the Sixers. Two disappointing teams for sure, and they're back in their old ways here a little bit. Toronto's lost 4 straight right now, but give them credit for a couple of covers in their last 2 games at Houston and at OKC as they kind of continue their road trip back home. For Philadelphia, they've lost 3 straight and were favored in all of them and couldn't cover. In fact, they haven't covered in 4 straight, all as favorites, although they did beat Dallas. They failed against Miami, Detroit, and Milwaukee and are looking, I don't know, kind of bad again. If anything, the Raptors are starting to look back, at least in their covering ways. I don't think say the Raptors are having a disappointing season. We've made money betting on these Raptors quite a bit. Thank you. Pardon me. As an underdog, 27-17 against the spread for the Raptors this season, 14-10 against the spread on the road. In Philly, we know how bad they've been, 7-14 against the spread as a favorite, 9-16 against the spread at home. But they were doing a little bit better until this string of non-covers. Now they had actually covered, I believe, 6 in a row before that. So call them streaky, it feels like here at this point. This is kind of a series that is underdog dominated anyways between these 3 teams. Philadelphia has lost 3 straight meetings or 3 straight games right now when favored, as mentioned. And Philadelphia has, let's see, the underdog is covering the spread in all of Philadelphia games here of late. So let's see what you have in this one. I think I'm hinting around at what I have here, but I'll see what you guys have first. All right. I'm going to the chat with hello to Chosen One in there. He's got St. Louis today and some college action. Thank you. And here we go. A Raptors team total over here for Blue. Raptors and under for Thomas. Blue says the Sixers have a poor defense. Lando here today says leading to the over there. Textiles in the chat. Could be PG today helping the Sixers. Look, they're still a pretty big favorite here, right? Of course, RJ Barrett is out right now for Toronto. Podol's out as well. Embiid is questionable here for Philly. And this one feels, you never know right now, it feels like. Should be able to make this lineup, but PG is probable. Lowry is out for sure in this one. Gordon is questionable. All right. Oh, Tex, happy birthday. That's awesome. See if I can. See if I can make the confetti. Oh, let me see. Is this a confetti flow? That'll have to do. Some steam coming in right now on Air Force tonight in their matchup with UNLV. They were getting 15, down to 14 here right now. Air Force is taking steam tonight in their matchup with UNLV. Okay, Robert likes the under in this one. Raptors and Sixers. That's the move. I'd probably trust the move, but I think the trend's more indicating over. Right now, Philadelphia 29-21 to the over, 14-11 to the over at home. Toronto 25-21 to the over as a dog. But I'm going to go ahead and take Toronto. I don't know if I'm getting a lot of opinions here, but James Farm, first quarter over. And maybe a shootout here with Quickly and Maxey. All right, give me the Toronto Raptors here. I'll take these points, despite no Barrett in there right now. We'll see. We don't know about Embiid, but we know that Toronto's been a pretty terrific cover, and Philadelphia hasn't. So right now, you see Toronto kind of getting back to the covering mode a little bit. So I'll take them. Well, this looks like the feature of the night here with the Knicks taking on the Pacers. And the Knicks are favored in this one by 3 now. This one's going up, up, up for sure. Some of the sendouts were Pacers -1. Most of the sendouts were Knicks -1. But right now, the Knicks are -3 and the total 240.5. And this one's gone through the roof. I mean, the bookmakers were onto this one real quick. I'm taking the over. Look, I like this one as a premium, but right now it's gotten away. I still don't know if it's high enough. I should wait to get your guys' opinion on it. Maybe I could. It's going over, right? This game is going over. This game's going into 2. You talk about 255. I feel like that's where this game could be headed with the Knicks and the Pacers. I guess that sounds like a premium, but let's see what you guys have in this one. Maybe you can tell me why it wouldn't be 1,000,000 points scored tonight with the Knicks and the Pacers here. You see the Knicks number going up too, right? So Miles Turner questionable for Indiana. For the Knicks, OG's questionable here. Josh Hart probable. I think all things look like they're on target for a massive scoring game. The two teams met in November. It was 132 to 121. You got both teams pretty much in over mode, especially the Pacers as an underdog, 15-6 to the over 14-8 to the over at home. The Knicks are 14-10 to the over on the road. Probably could look at the side a little bit, but I just would rather go over here. And I think I've missed the boat at 240. I mean, I still think it's going over, but if you want to talk about value, there is none. But I would still go over, if that makes any sense. I know you wouldn't hear any mainstream cappers say it like that, but that's the way I feel about it. All right, let's see. I hope I didn't oversell it, because here's Thomas like the over first thing out of the gate. Textiles, under in that other game. I was not that I was hoping he was going against me. I was like, look, Tex goes under, but he's actually going under the Raptors game. Blue says the over for sure. Tex says the Raptors cover in that other game. Robert is going over here with me in this one. Yeah, and I maybe, sometimes you feel like, oh man, it was 237, it was 235, and you're like, oh, I really missed but it's gone now. Or even if it was something I never saw a line to bet like that. Well, I did see it, but I mean, not to come on the show and come on and say, hey, take this over. Scotty Barnes here, a prop. All right. So not much, though. Maybe from you guys on this one, maybe it's a little bit tough. Knicks have gone over in 4 straight right now. Indiana coming in off that loss to the Lakers the other day. That was an over, too. Of course it was. So Indiana has beaten the Knicks 5 straight meetings here at home. And Indiana's also covered the spread in 5 straight games coming off of a loss here. I know the Knicks look like the better team personnel-wise, but I feel like this spot favors the Pacers. I'll just take the over here as my play on the show.
Steam play.
All right, let's see what you got, Steam play. Utah and Cincinnati steam to the under here in this one. It was 139 down to 138 here right now with Utah in an interesting spot there against Cincinnati. I would think that Utah getting 8.5 points or something like that might be a pretty good play. Mississippi State also took some steam in that big matchup with Florida tonight. We know Florida's on fire, but Mississippi State is taking the steam right now, and this one could end up a pick'em with Mississippi State taking that steam against Florida. Wow. All right. Keep you abreast of any more on these college games. Yesterday we could tell you in an hour about the steam, and it wouldn't have mattered. Today, we want to know with this great card, Lene Jones. Hello and welcome. All right, let's keep it going here. Maybe I can get you guys interested in this one. DePaul is taking the steam here right now in their matchup today. DePaul against Marquette. Good luck with that. But you know what? DePaul actually has played a little bit better all of a sudden in conference play. They were getting 18. It's going to go down to 17 here, it looks like, with DePaul getting the points. They're taking the steam at Marquette. All right, Pistons and Bulls here. The Pistons have long had trouble with the Bulls. Chicago has won 18 of the last 21 meetings between these two teams, but the Pistons are favored this time, even though Chicago's been a pretty good dog here of late, getting the points at home in a series that they pretty much dominated. Now, we know the better personnel maybe with the Pistons right now for sure, but nonetheless, the Bulls have won in a few dog rolls here of late, including against Miami. They were getting 4.5. Now, they did just get blown out by the Warriors and the Timberwolves, but they also got the money against Toronto recently. So could they, use a little bit of historical advantage here, or is that just out the window at this point? Chicago's gone over in 4 straight games overall. They're 23-16 to the over as an underdog. And man, I'm sure that the Pistons will look like the better play here, but I'll go to the chat and see what you guys have to say about this one before I go spouting off here. NBA wasn't the problem. Detroit money line, though, for Thomas. Here's Cade Cunningham under in his props. Trevor is here. He likes the Pistons as well. Oldie. And Jermaine's got some prop action. All right, well, doesn't seem like too much groundswell here, although there is a couple of Pistons plays. But I kind of want to stick with Chicago in this spot. Can't really make it too many excuses for them, except for the straight up. The spread record is good too for Chicago against Detroit. 15-5-1 last 21 games. I mean, these teams meet 4 times a year, so very frequent opponents. So that really is just within the last, since the pandemic. It pretty much has been pretty much a Bulls 75% spread record against the Pistons overall. Thomas says Cade under here. So teams did meet back last week. Creighton has taken some steam. I want to mention real quick. Creighton. I want to mention this because that is my pick on the show against Connecticut here. Creighton today, 3-point favorite. They're up to 3.5 or 4 right now against Connecticut. Creighton at home. My pick is Creighton, and the steam is coming in right now on Creighton. So let me mention that now. Okay, there's Jermaine also with some props there. Teams met a week ago or so. That's 9 days ago. It was 127-119. Detroit rocked at home as a 6-point favorite. And Trevor says, just think about it, Ramon. You got the Pistons, got the better players on the team right now. Robert likes Detroit first half. And, of course, yeah, with, maybe some of the moves that we saw as well, right? Maybe that's where you go wrong. And Lonzo Ball is out of this one. Sano goes out as well. Dosunmu is probable. All right. Well, I'm on the Bulls. I'm going against some people here in the chat. I'm on the Bulls tonight. All right. Last here is the Grizzlies taking on the Suns. One team covers the spread every game. One team doesn't cover the spread every game. This is a TNT game tonight in Phoenix. Memphis actually is coming in off of a loss, but still they were winning and covering 3 in a row, one more than that. They are, of course, 33-17 against the spread. Phoenix is 18-33 against the spread. Memphis is 16-8 against the spread on the road. Phoenix is 8-17 against the spread at home. Blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Memphis 23-10 as a favorite. Phoenix 6-13 against the spread as a dog. I think it's screaming to tell us what to do. Now look at the total in this one. It's another one where it's just totally gotten away. Now, the spread's actually gone down here to 4, maybe even 3.5 at the sharp books right now. But the total still is 244, and it was as low as 7 points lower. This one's gone just out of control. I'm going to go over as a play here on the show. Now, I'm probably just going to give out Memphis later on. But what can you do? This is another one that probably will end up 250 points, I would think, here in this one. Memphis is 20-5 to the over on the road. Now, to be fair, Phoenix is 9-17 to the under at home. For sure, there is a little bit of resistance there. Is that the reverse intersecting zeros? Are those? The one key, though, I think here is that Memphis on, these road games continue to go over right now, and Memphis has also gone over in 10 of their last 14. Now, talk about Phoenix and those home unders, but still they've gone over in 6 of their last 7 games overall. The one they didn't was the last game against Denver at home here in a 122-105 loss, but they were going over before that 6 straight games. So I would think this is another one that, whatever reason, here as we approach the All-Star break, I think we're kind of seeing this a little bit where there's less defense. Now, granted, there are some games where we're scoring in the 190s right now, but those are some different teams. And some of these games have no defense right now. All right, we got some plays here from the chat. Jermaine's on the Suns, Blues on the under. And Jermaine likes a prop from Ja. We'll be forever loving Ja. Thomas says Grizzlies money line parlay, put him in there. Durant over in his rebounds here. Grizzlies team total for Blue. And Thomas said, you're right, Ramon. We were there, Thomas, last year, I'm pretty sure. Same thing. So I'll take the over in this one. This one's already got away. Probably should be a premium. I don't want to send out too much with a big move like that. It scares people off, but it still should be. I think this in the Knicks game, I don't know. If you like teasers, basketball teasers, no one does it. I rarely do it. I mostly would do it for fun on, like a 2-game holiday card or something like that. But maybe this would be the one just to be sure, because those are 2 big moves, that Knicks-Pacers game and that Grizzlies-Suns game. And I like it over, and I'll just take it over here on the show. I do feel like it's a very strong play, but it's been a pretty big move, and I know that so I'll just give it out here just to be clear that I like it strong, and not going to worry about giving out hopefully some winners right here. Okay, I guess that's it for the NBA. You guys are done. I'm done. Let's go to college basketball. Great card, incredible card, really. If this is on Saturday, but you know what? We've had the other sports a little bit. This feels like peak weekday college basketball. So it's going to be mostly major conferences here with our coverage this morning. And we'll start it off here. Don't get me wrong, there are some other nice conference plays in there, but Purdue is taking on Michigan to start us off, with Michigan minus 2.5, and the total here, call it 1.5 now, and the total is up to 151. Kind of like you guys when you went from high school to college. All right. Well, you got Michigan then coming in here right now, 11-2. Pardon me, in Big Ten play. Wow, what a year for the Wolverines here. But hey, this one's a tough one. Watch out. This is a hot matchup here with Michigan, a half a game behind, 11-2 Purdue. This is huge tonight, obviously, between these two teams, but Purdue's won 4 in a row right now, 11 of their last 12 games overall. Boilermakers are 5-1 straight up on the road in conference play. They don't get much tougher than this, I guess, would be the other point to make. They are 1-1 against the spread so far as a road dog in conference play, so it's not the first time, it's the third time. They've been getting some points here in conference play. Both teams have won 4 in a row right now. Purdue covered 3 of those against SC, Iowa, and the Michigan Wolverines back on January 24th, 91-64 in that one, a blowout for the Boilers at home. Michigan could return the favor tonight. Michigan's 10-2 in conference play, 18-5 overall. They've won their last 4 games in a little bit different fashion. They didn't cover the spread in any one of those games. They were 4-0 in conference games that they had to win against Indiana, Oregon, Rutgers, and Penn State. But they failed to cover the spread as favorites in all 4 of those games as single digits, but still didn't win any of the games in that span 4 or fewer points. They were all nail biters. Now, the Boilers led that game early on in that blowout win, 32-11. That was, like I said, Michigan's last loss. Purdue has won the last 4 in this series. The move is obviously on Purdue. All right, let's see what you guys have. I'm excited if you can't tell. Got a little bit. Hey, you know what? I said we got some other nice games. We saw the comments in the chat about Northern Illinois. And right now the steam is coming in on the total. Now, I didn't mention because we did see that play by Twisted, but Buffalo did take the steam. If anything, Twisted's getting the best price now. Buffalo took the steam earlier and knocked it down to, 1.5 or 2? Right now it's 2. And the total is up here to 153. Steam coming in right now, Buffalo and Northern Illinois up to 153 at Bet Online. That steam is going to trigger right down the line, I'm sure, the other books as well. All right. Let me get your comments on this one. It's going to be good. Jerry likes the revenge spot. Twisted likes Michigan. Thomas says, I'm going to go Purdue, though, and over here. Blues got his college basketball plays on these monster games today. Dana Delp, Purdue and over. That's good enough for me. Blue also Purdue over. I'm going to keep going down the pit, but I'm on the over. If you guys like them over, I like them over as well. Why wouldn't you like the over here the way Michigan's going right now? 7-4 to the over here at home. And I'm going to go over. Michigan money line for Drake. And Donut also Michigan here after getting embarrassed by him last time. And Roberts on Purdue as well. Okay, I got to respect that. I might be coming in with Purdue a little later on the next level pick, if you know what I mean. But I'm going to go with on the show here, the total on the over with Michigan and Purdue. But don't think that I might. Look, Purdue's covered 8 of their last 10. Michigan, now we know, isn't covering against anybody. They could recover here in this game. But, all right, great game. Wow. Believe it or not, it gets a little better. I don't know if it gets totally better with this one, but still, it's going to get your excitement flowing a little bit with 2 top 15 teams tonight with number 5, Tennessee, and number 15, Kentucky. Sounds like an old drinking contest. Got Tennessee coming in, having won 3 in a row here right now. Wins over Oklahoma, Missouri, and Florida. They covered against Oklahoma and Florida. Tennessee comes in 7-4 in conference play. Kentucky just 5-5 for all the great things that I say about Kentucky. Still just 5-5. They've had some rough spots. I mean, they lost to Arkansas. They lost to Ole Miss. They're favored, remember, in that game against Arkansas. Remember, they lost to Vanderbilt, too. So they've lost 4 of their last 6 games coming in. Tennessee is just 2-3 straight up on the conference road so far, and 1-2 against the spread as a conference favorite. For Kentucky, they're 3-2 straight up at home, 2-1 against the spread as a conference dog so far. Now it's virtually a pick 'em, so we get that. Tennessee is 10-4 against top 50 teams. And Kentucky is just 7-7 against top 50s. But like we said, I mean, these are top 15 teams. Maybe you could narrow that down a little bit, but there's no doubt Kentucky's done a nice job as an underdog this season, 4-1 against the spread overall. Now, as far as the total is concerned with these two, you got Kentucky's an over team, but we know Tennessee's a big-time under team, so maybe you got to mesh it up and see what you think. Kentucky, of course, upset Tennessee 2 weeks ago in Knoxville, 78-73. They were 10-point dogs in that game. And Kentucky shot the lights out, going 50% from three-point range, while Tennessee was under 25% in that game. Kentucky's won 4 of the last 5 in this series. Conference home dogs 12-8 in the SEC against the spread so far. All right. I'm going to go to the chat. I think I'm ready to go on this one, but I'll wait and see what you guys have to say. In this one, here we go. Tennessee against the spread right there says blue. And Robert is on Tennessee. Jake's on UK. Jerry says he thinks most people are going to call Tennessee here, but he likes Kentucky. Trevor on Tennessee. They bounced back, right, to get those 3 wins. We were almost kind of, burying Tennessee a little bit as they fell from the top portion of the conference is what it felt like. And they went through that, where they're obviously, they're still a good team for sure, but now they trail and they're out of the conference race. It's Auburn and Alabama and everybody else. Thomas on Tennessee, but Twisted's on Kentucky. I'm taking the under. I'm not scared. I might have a play on this one. I'm going to take the under as my play here. Look, I got to decide. You got to decide in this one. Which way would it go? Now, the first meeting was certainly over at 151. In fact, the last 3 meetings have gone over this number. Tennessee 2-6 to the under on the road this season. Meanwhile, Kentucky 4-1 to the over at home. Or no, as a dog. It's very similar, right? Very similar. They're 4-1 against the spread as a dog. They're 4-1 to the over as a dog. Okay, I don't know if that shows you which way I'm going. I'm just taking the total here to go under as my play. Tennessee's gone under in 11 of their last 13 games on the road, dating back to last season. This series, though, when they meet in Lexington, it's gone over 6 of the last 7 meetings. All right, yes, that's it. A few more. Oh, here comes a few more plays from you folks. Jerry says so. He's trying to conclude that with this information. Remember what I said though. Kentucky's covered 4 out of the last 5. Just it might be played a little bit differently. I don't know, Jerry. Okay, here I'm not trying to diffute anything. I never want to do that. All right, Twisted's got Kentucky. I may just stick with the total. All right. Hey, Florida and old Mississippi State here in this one. Another good one here. With number 3, Florida right now on fire, winning their last 2 games. Yeah, they had a loss back there, but I'm not going to hold it to them when they got dumped at Tennessee. Remember, they had that dismal game scoring just 4. It shows you what Tennessee can do on any given day right now. But when Florida's winning, feels like they're covering at this point. And they've covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings with the Bulldogs. Mississippi State's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games at home. But still, you're going to have this one close to a pick'em right now. I got to update the line on the screen there. Because this one's a pick'em. We already said the steam came in and we were right. We're not right, but we were on it. This one's down to a pick'em here, 152.5. Total's gone up a little bit in this one. There we go. So let's see what you guys like here. Florida, pretty terrific here. 16-7 against the spread, 6-3 against the spread on the road. Mississippi State has failed to cover in 7 of their last 10 games overall. Florida's won 8 of their last 10 on the road, but Mississippi State at home, 8-3 so far this season. Loyola Chicago and Richmond is seeing some steam right now in their matchup today. It was 132. It's probably going to go all the way to 130.5 eventually. Here's steam coming in on the under with Loyola Chicago and Richmond. All right. Let's see what you have here. Florida and Mississippi State. Definitely had to take a look here at this one. Florida is 7-3 in conference play right now. Mississippi State 5-5 currently. The Gators are 3-2 straight up on the road in conference play. They're 7-3 against top 50 teams. Like I said, Mississippi State ranked 22nd coming in. So you got top 25s here, I guess. But still, Mississippi State 6-5 against top 50s overall. They've lost 5 of their last 8 overall as well. So Florida's won 3 of the last 4 in this series. A little bit tougher maybe here. Okay, let's see what we got. Thomas is on Florida. James went on Tennessee back on that Kentucky game. Blues on Florida. All right. Jerry's talking about Kentucky shorthanded there today. Super True might like the over in this one. Jerry's on Florida. You guys are all on Florida. I'm on Florida too. Is that the first? Maybe that's the first consensus right there. Well, Jake's on Mississippi State, but Donut Silks is on the Gators. James Parham's on Mississippi State. So it's 4-2. I don't know if that is a consensus, but I'm going to take Florida in this one. Okay. There it is. All right. Thomas says that's good enough there, but Terrell says letdown spot. But all right, let's do it. Let's try one here. We need a consensus play. We haven't had many of them. So 4-2 is a consensus on this chat. Hello to the 50 people joining me live here right now. Views are down here when we can't get on the I got to make sure we get on the Sports Money X account there. My bad on that. Okay. Next up, we got more action here now. Be careful. Could Auburn here now? Vandy's already lost a bunch of money because they stormed the court after they win. How do you storm the court at Vandy, right? I mean, that it should be harder to storm the court at Vandy. But could they get fined again if they could come up with this monster upset tonight against number 1 Auburn? Now, I'm not sure that's the way it's going to go, but you got to think they're alive to stay within single digits here, don't you? Vandy's so good at home. Here's some steam coming in right now. Iowa State and Central Florida. Steam coming in on the over here in this one. I'm not sure I'm down with that, but it's going up here to 159 between Iowa State and Central Florida. I would think it gets played more towards Iowa State's tempo, but I don't think we have that one in the preview, actually. All right, Auburn here against Vandy. Number 1 Auburn. Like I said, they're coming off of a loss. So they lost, of course, that game to Florida the other day. One more here. Let me get this one in. Northwestern and Oregon. Steam to the under tonight in that late game. I don't know. Those are 2 teams that have had some overs. I know that. but steam here to the under with Northwestern and Oregon. Man, this one's headed down to 140.5 right now with Northwestern and Oregon. Steam to the under tonight. Okay, let's get back here. Oh, also, let me get this one in. Georgia and Texas A&M. This one's steaming to the over right now in Georgia and Texas A&M with, I don't know, two teams that have had some unders right now. Here's steam to the over in that one. It's going up to 140.5 right now with Georgia and Texas A&M. Steam to the over. So also, Colorado State took some steam in their matchup against Utah State. It was 6. It's down to 5 right now. Steam on Colorado State in their matchup against Utah State. All right. Now, Vanderbilt, they're in off of a win over Texas, 86-78. They were favored in that one, and they won at home against Texas. And now they're taking on Auburn. These teams have not met this season. And Auburn won the last matchup here. Also won here last year, 80-65 as an 11.5 point favorite. But this Vanderbilt feels a little bit different. They are 10-5 against the spread at home. Auburn's done a nice job as a favorite, despite obviously being a team that has to be well respected by odds makers. 12-8 against the spread as a favorite for Auburn. But Vandy's had that magic going a little bit. Vanderbilt should be noted just 3-5 against the spread as an underdog. One more steam play I'm going to squeeze in here. The under, Syracuse and Miami of Florida, taking some steam here to the under. It was 153 down to 152 here with Syracuse and Miami tonight. All right, Auburn definitely is a over-trending team, 14-9 to the over overall, 12-9 to the over as a favorite. Vanderbilt's won 8 of their last 9 games at home. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone under, but look at the total has actually gone down here several points. Here from some books, DraftKings opened at 160.5. I think it's going the wrong way, or at least I don't know if it's the wrong way, but I think it's moved. I'm going with the over in this one with Auburn and Vanderbilt. I'm going over 156.5. I feel like that might be against the move here, and they're definitely, Vanderbilt has some long-term trends that are kind of, under in this role for sure. Usually what happens is against good teams, Vanderbilt kind of struggles offensively. I'm just hoping that this time it's enough. If they do get enough, they're gonna cover this number in a high-scoring game, is what I feel like. If it's an under, I think they're getting blown out of here, and they're going to end up well short of their team total. Let's see what you guys have. I just think this one's interesting. We got to cover number 1. Money line for Thomas. He'll put it in that with his money line parlay. Trevor says Central Florida doesn't matter if they are playing Iowa State. It's going to go over. He was talking about that steam that came in. Nobody's commenting on this game. All right. Well, I guess then I guess I'll just take the over here in this one. I'm giving Vanderbilt a real big chance here, but I don't think it's going to make my card. I'm going to bet them probably, but I don't know if I'm going to be giving it out on a public forum like YouTube. Southeast Missouri State taking some steam to the over in their matchup with Little Rock tonight. This one was 137. It's up to 138 right now with Southeast Missouri State and Little Rock steam to the over here right now on the Morning Steam Show. All right, we'll go to the next game. Nobody liked that Auburn game. The only reason I put it in there was because of number 1. I knew it might not get much traction. But this one might with UCLA. Resurgent UCLA, but now they're back on the road in Big Ten country again. I call it Big Ten country, right? You know what I mean? New Big Ten, the new frontier. With UC, remember when they were struggling and they had to get that talking to that everybody talks about now with the talking points, and ever since that time, UCLA has been winning all their games. Now, granted, they were at home for a bunch of those games or playing old Pac-12 teams like USC and Washington. They still didn't cover against Washington, but they handled their business at home against Penn State, Michigan State, Oregon. Actually, the Michigan State game was probably a push for most people, but now they're going to go back on the road. I'm not feeling as confident necessarily right now. I'm not sure. I probably looked at the total, but this is what I feel is going on with the, maybe in football too. The same thing was happening. And the Pac-12 hasn't, the old Pac-12 teams haven't matched up when it came down to this. That's when they were struggling a little bit. Now, for Illinois, they come in here off of a win against Minnesota. They crushed them on the road, but they lost, remember, at Rutgers. They beat Ohio State. They lost to Nebraska. It's been up and down for sure for Illinois. It seems like they're winning when they're dogs. Well, they've been favored in all these games. Who am I kidding? And they're, favored here tonight by 6. Pretty healthy number, actually. Illinois is 9-5 against the spread at home. UCLA 3-5 against the spread on the road. Go to the chat and see what you guys have in this one. UCLA is 9-4 in conference play. They're ahead of Illinois, that's for sure, at 8-6 currently. UCLA with it, they're only 2 games back of Purdue but you'd have to start to turn it around here right now and go on a winning streak. And Illinois is back more towards the middle of the pack. Really, they're the last of the teams above 500. The conference is pretty top heavy. All right, here we go. Here come the too many points, Thomas says. This seems to be the toughest. Blue is on UCLA. Thomas says UCLA money line. Oh, money line for Bruins. How about that? Thomas putting some big time plus money in there with UCLA. Terrell says this one's an easy over. You're right, Terrell. I'm going with Terrell. I got to go with Terrell in this one. Illinois 12-8 to the over as a favorite. UCLA 5-3 to the over on the road. I think I prefer the over. UCLA with all these road overs right now for sure, like Terrell says. That's good enough for me. Give me the over. There's some long-term trends on Illinois to go over as well. I think a lot of these now, some of them I throw out because they're kind of included in conference stats. Now we got to include the UCLA games in the conference stats, not just the UCLA games and things like that. But right now with the running totals in the Big Ten, and I don't want to say the numbers are off at all. They're still conference games, right? But anyways, Illinois has been going over 150 forever right now this season, right? Let's see. Last game, Minnesota, 169. Rutgers game, 155. Ohio State game, 176. Nebraska game, 150. Now, I understand UCLA is, going under, and all their games are in the 130s or 140s. But I think, like Terrell said. All right. Oh, Thomas is going Illinois moneyline parlay. Okay. Sub's got some breaking news on the pitch here for the Champions League game with Lisbon. But Thomas says Illinois money line UCLA to cover. So he likes it right in that 1-6 range. You could bet on that. I think. Okay, we got a few more here in college basketball for sure. We're not done yet on a day like today. I've got Arizona and Kansas State. Well, this one's easy. I'm going to take the Wildcats in this one, with Arizona favored on the road by 3. Total here 150. Make sure right now 3.5, 150, 1.5. So the move has been on Arizona. The move has been on the over here in this one. There we go. See what you guys want to do here with Arizona on the road. Maybe it's gone down here a little bit, even though I bumped it back up. Both teams are hot, hot, hot. They're white hot. It feels like coming into this one with big time winning streaks right now. Arizona's off of a win over Texas Tech at home. They covered the number. They beat BYU on the road. They beat ASU on the road. They covered all these games. They're hot right now, 8-2 against the spread, last 10 games. Also 12-8. ATS as a favorite. Arizona's gone 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games on the road. They won 5 of their last 6 games on the road, but Kansas State 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games at home, and they weren't covering early on at home before conference play when they were favored by too many points. But they're coming off the huge win, of course, over the Jayhawks, 81-73 last time out as a 4.5-point dog. We had Kansas State. You know we had them. Kansas State also has won 13 of their last 18 games at home, and they're covering too. It's not like they're not. Covered against KU, of course, as a dog. They won the game. They beat ASU. They were an underdog in that game. They smacked Iowa State in that big shocker, if you call them that. They won by 19 points, and they beat Oklahoma State by 28 points on the road or at home as 7.5-point favorites. So they've been red hot too. Wow, it's a good game here, but who do you like? Man, Arizona's gone over in 13 of their 20 games as a favorite. Another good game. These games are great. Great games. Thomas says Kansas State. Blue says Kansas State Spoons. Hello, Spoons. I think Thomas might be pulling for Kansas State. You guys are on Kansas State. I was going to come in here on Arizona. Oh, no. Is it going to be me against a consensus again? I like Arizona here, you guys. I'm taking Arizona. I feel bad now. Everybody's on Kansas State, and I hyped up the game so much. And they have to lay some points, so maybe that is a bit uncomfortable. But should be a good one here. Arizona's the ranked team. You know, they talk about those, the old, ranked teams going in, going on the road. Remember, Kansas State, that was a great game. They're still just 12-11 overall. Arizona, 17-6. Right now, you look at the standings currently in the Big 12, and you have Arizona just a half a game back of Houston after the Cougars won last night. Kansas State far out of it at 6-6 right now. Thomas says it doesn't mean anything. I don't know if that's what he's talking about, but anyways, Arizona really only Arizona and Houston, it feels like, can win this conference championship regular season right now. So I'm going to take Arizona. I said it gets better and better and better. And here's another great one here with Alabama. Now, Texas is unranked, but it doesn't feel like they should be. Just that you're in the SEC. This is tough to do, man. And you're Texas right now, and you're nowhere to be found in the standings at 4-7 overall. Now, Alabama should come in and roll here. I'm probably going to take Alabama, but I don't want to bet it. I don't even know if I want to give it out as a play, but I do. I may like the total here. So let's see what you guys have in this one. I imagine there could be some support for Texas here. It does feel like kind of wise guy support here. It feels like the Sharps are on Texas. The steam came in on Texas. It seems like Alabama's kind of square, but I kind of want to take them at the reduced price and figure that Texas, that some of the struggles that we've seen from Texas are for real. I mean, they lost at Vanderbilt. They were an underdog in that game, but it just goes to show you where they are right now. They lost to Arkansas at home. Now they won at LSU. They played well against Ole Miss on the road, covered the spread. But Alabama here, they're on a long winning streak. Yeah, they get caught up in laying some points here and there. They didn't cover against the Hogs on Saturday, 85-81, and they failed as a big favorite against LSU at home. But they rocked Georgia. They beat Mississippi State in a good game, and they rocked Vanderbilt. Alabama's 5-3 against the spread on the road. Texas, though, has been covering a few games here and there, despite looking pretty bad in the last two games. So I'm going to take Alabama. I don't think I can pass. These are the ones that get me in trouble. Now, granted, like I said, you got these ranked teams against unranked teams. They actually do better than you think. Everyone says these are the ones you fade. Well, you aren't winning really long term. That's just a myth. Short term, that could be the sample, but long term, it's not. Ranked teams do the job. All right, chosen ones. This is going to be a consensus, I'm sure, and I'm calling it square. Remember our old friend, still our friend, but I mean, I said, hey, this one's square, and you get all mad. Well, chosen one, Thomas Blue. I'm saying I'm on them with you. I'm saying we're square here. I'm saying that Texas will be the sharp side here. That'll be the side of the Sharps. And if I lose this game, I'll be like, why do I ever go against these guys? I don't always chase the steam. The steam came in on Texas here. All right. Alabama's a consensus, says Thomas. I agree. No one's going with Texas in the chat. It's a sharp side. It is the side. I say right on my Twitter bio, I wrote it. I know who the Sharps are on, and they're on Texas here. High tide. High tide. All right. I'm taking Alabama. Call me square. If my friends think I'm calling, if they take offense, I'm calling myself square. I'm taking Alabama. I can't do. I'm on some different sides here, but all right. Well, now you might have me here too. Creighton's at home. They're the ranked team. Connecticut, nowhere to be found. But watch out for Creighton. I don't know if this is the game, but remember, I also feel like, Connecticut's got the best coach in the country. And he might be right. I don't know how much longer we can get talking talking points out of Hurley, probably forever. But Creighton's favored here by that line's not even right. It's 4.5. Just goes to show you where this one's. I would think where this one's headed, right? I mean, come on, UConn getting all these points. Let's call it 4. I'll call it 4. It's mostly 4 here, 143.5 right now. We did report that steam came in on Creighton. You might see some 4.5s out there, but maybe there's some resistance here because it is Connecticut after all. And Creighton comes in 18-6, ranked 24th. Connecticut unranked, but they're still 16-7 overall right now. And you look at right now standings here in the Big East. You've got Creighton 1 game back of first place Georgetown right now. Connecticut, they're stuck at 8-4 here. And, Creighton has a fine tandem for sure. Kalkbrenner and Ashworth. Creighton right now comes in here with a long winning streak. They're covering every game pretty much at this point. They're on a roll. We knew it was coming eventually, but maybe we didn't know it was going to be this good. And right now it feels like Creighton might be a little bit underrated at this point in the polls. Doing a great job covering numbers right now. What is it, 10, 11? How many in a row is it right now? I got to look it up. I didn't even write it down. Creighton's covered a bunch in a row at this point. They've also won the last 5 meetings at home against Connecticut. They've covered 5 straight at home. They're 10-7 against the spread as a favorite, but man, they're doing a great job. Connecticut just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games overall right now. So I'm taking Creighton. I feel like it's a premium, but I don't know about the total at this point. 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone under. But Creighton does play some of these home conference games well over this total sometimes, especially a few of these lately. What was it? 144 against Marquette. It landed right on the number. Xavier, 163. 133 against the Hall. All right, I'm just going to take Creighton. I feel like it's a premium play, but I'm just going to go with it here on the show. I'm not sure on the total. I'd kind of look at that season series between the two. Maybe it could go under. Here we go. Blues on the Jays. I think that's what he's saying. You know me, I'm taking Creighton. If my name's Blue, I'm on the Jays. Blue Jays, Creighton Blue something, says Thomas. I'm blue. La da dee da do die. La do dee da do die. All right. Creighton is a consensus play. Probably me just talking all that Creighton right there just now puts this one over the top. Terrell's on Creighton money line. Is that stuff you get at the Creighton? Is that you get at the shop there? The hookah shop? Okay. Okay, we're all on Creighton, and that's fine. We've got more games. They're not as good as those other ones here for sure, but we got a few more games left. Pittsburgh and SMU here in this one. You got SMU favored by 4 points tonight. I've skipped a few. There's a lot of great games, but get my other plays over at winnable.com. SMU favored by 4.5 here in this one. Total 150 and a half. It's SMU that's won 4 straight games right now and covering like nobody's business. SMU is one of the best covered teams in the country with an 18-5 spread record. They're 10-3 against the spread at home, 18-2 against the spread as a favorite. Pittsburgh's 1-4 against the spread as an underdog. You tell me. The widely reported steam was on Pittsburgh. You know those sharps. They don't follow the trends. They play the numbers. Well, if you're playing the numbers here, you're not getting the best of it with Pittsburgh right now. That's for sure. Also, Pittsburgh just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 overall. They've lost 3 straight to Carolina, UVA, and Wake. They did cover, though, against Carolina, getting 5.5 points. They lost by just 1 point. SMU, though, meanwhile, 4-game winning streak, actually pushed last time out against VTech and got the money easily as a favorite at home against Stanford, but failed against Cal as a 13-point favorite. They still won by 11. Also got the money at Raleigh. So SMU, terrific cover. Pitt, they're actually 14-9 overall against the spread, but road dog, just not their role. These teams are a combined 27-18 to the over this season. SMU's 10-4 to the over at home. I like the over, actually. I'm probably going to, you probably sounds like I like SMU. You might be right, but Pittsburgh just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 road games overall. SMU has gone over in 10 of 14. I said I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over as my play at 150 and a half. Here is Thomas on Pitt, blue on SMU. Maybe blue likes the over. All right. One more here. Let's go to the West Coast Conference with Santa Clara and St. Mary's. Good matchup, of course, unless you're not in there with Gonzaga. No problem, of course. But remember, Gonzaga, they're actually, just another team at this point. St. Mary's is a team that's in the driver's seat, leading the San Francisco Dons by 2 games currently. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Or no, they had a loss in there. Of course they did. They lost to San Francisco 65-64 for their first conference loss. But still, 11-1 in conference play overall are the Gales coming in. They're 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. Santa Clara comes in here on a 3. They're the ones on a 3-game winning streak, covering against University of San Diego, covered 20 points. Portland covered 14. Pacific covered 17. So Santa Clara doing a good job as a big favorite. But note, as a dog against St. Mary's last time out in that role, at home getting 4, they lost 67-54. They also lost to Oregon State getting points. As a dog, they haven't been quite as good, I guess you would say. I think it's actually their only other 2 games were as dogs that they failed. Let me see. They're 4-3 as a dog. Is Santa Clara. So just had one other loss as well, but they did cover 4 as a dog. Anyways, in this one with Santa Clara and St. Mary's here, see if we got some more notes anyway on this. We'll get your plays if you like them. St. Mary's has won the last 5 meetings between the 2 teams and won the last 5 meetings also here at home. 5 of the last 6 meetings here at St. Mary's have gone over here, but gosh, I don't know. I don't know if it's going over. Let's see what we got. AOD is here. Thank you for being here, AOD. And let's see. Noli's here. He's got the under. Thank you, Noli. Is it bad for me just to tail it when I got legendary under, making unders great again? Noli knows here, but I could show you right here on my sheet, but I'm going to go with the under as my play. I've got the endorsement here. I certainly was talking about the season series is pretty noticeable, 5 out of 6, but I'm going under as well. And let's see here. Spoon Bets is on Santa Clara. And AOD's a little behind there. And he's back on the Dallas segment. All right, I'm going to take the under. If Noli's in here giving his only endorsement, just shows up to talk about the under in a Santa Clara St. Mary's game, I'm on that. I was already going under here, despite the fact that I think that the numbers maybe indicate, like I said, that season series, Santa Clara's gone over in 4 of their last 6 on the road, but they weren't playing St. Mary's either. All right, Irish King does not want the 4 nations. We could just do an all-star weekend and have the Metro Division against the Pacific Division. Whatever happened? Why can't we have all-star games the way they were? Why can't it be East versus West? I think it actually is important, right? You have star players from the Eastern Conference, star players from the Western Conference. It kind of also plays into who will win when they get to the final. You have those those conference players, right? Why did nobody see it like that anymore? All right, that's going to do it. Let's go on to the soccer here real quick and show the Champions League games. We've already got the input from Sub. If there are any other windows in there that I can make a pick, I will. But let's show all 4 games, kind of be our coverage here on the Sports Money Network. Having the picks from Sub is probably enough. PSG is going to be taking on Brest. Here in this one, you've got PSG, a 1.5 favorite. This one goes 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, kind of a standalone game here in this one. So, see, we got here total 3 over 30 here right now. So, interesting to note, obviously 2 French sides, so they probably meet we know they meet quite a bit. In fact, the last 6 meetings have seen both teams score, but believes PSG has won 5 of the last 6 meetings between the 2 teams. Let me take a look here at that. 5-2 last time they met back just 10 days ago in a League One game. It was 5-2. PSG won on the road. They also met last September. PSG won. Met in a French Cup game early last year. PSG 3-1. Had a draw back in January of last year. And PSG won a meeting late 2023. So, PSG is going to be the team that's, that's favored here. Maybe they are even favored by handicappers here a little bit. Maybe they're throwing them into parlays a little bit in this one. Now, look, I kind of look at this game as more of an under to me, but I know handicappers are talking about the over, and you see what G said there, what Gerardo said about the game. So I got to respect that. But I think if you look at these 2 teams overall so far, at least in Champions League play, I think they've kind of gone under, right? PSG is 0-3 to the under on the road so far, and Brest is 1-3 to the under as an underdog. But I'm going to respect what I got Gerardo in here telling me the over. I'm not going to go against Gerardo, so give me the over in this one. He did like PSG as well, but I don't remember what he said about the line on the game at that 1.5. But Sub said PSG minus the 1.5, so I got to respect that.
Final.
I'll take the over with Gerardo because Sub went with that. Blue likes the over here, I think. Both teams a score for Philly Eagle Flyer. And let's see here. Halftime draw for Philly Eagle Flyer there. Okay, I'll take the over. I got to respect Gerardo. He's my man here, giving great advice. I was, I don't know about laying a 1.5 with PSG in this matchup, but Brest is playing about as good as they ever have, at least to get to this point in the knockout stage of the Champions League. I feel like that's a pretty good deal for Brest. They've never made it to this level, I don't think. All right. Any more? I think there is one more here. Nope. Okay. I'm going over with Gerardo. I'm going over. I don't want to blame Gerardo if it goes go over, but if he wasn't in there, I might have been on the under. Okay. Borussia Dortmund and Lisbon. We saw Sub's comments about Lisbon here. I don't know if I'm as concerned with that, but see what you guys have here in this one with Dortmund. Here, an underdog to Lisbon. Lisbon minus a half. plus 130, 2.5 over at minus 140. Dortmund is 0-3 against the spread on the handicap as an underdog in this Champions League tournament so far. So I don't know if I like their chances here against Lisbon. I would think Lisbon might be the side to go to. So far, Lisbon 2-1 at home, straight up, and against the handicap so far. And for whatever reason, Dortmund just hasn't looked as good on the road. They've given up goals. That's what it is. Dortmund is 4-0 to the over on the road in Champions League play. All the three of those were as an underdog, just like in this role here. And even though Lisbon is 0-2 to the under as a favorite, they are 2-1 to the over at home in this Champions League. All right. Blue says Dortmund usually scores a lot. Philly Eagle Flyer says Brest to advance. Now, to be clear, Philly Eagle Flyers betting on Brest to advance, which is, of course, a 2-game bet because they have to play twice. Pardon me on this. This is the first of 2 games, of course. All right. So I'm going to go. Sub did say over. I'm pretty sure he said over. So I'm going to take the over as well in this one. Like, yeah, Dortmund here. Dortmund is 6-1 to the over in the Champions League so far. So I got to figure it's going over. All right. Keep it going here right now. We got Real Madrid taking on Man City in a high-profile matchup in the early stages, in the early elimination round. They couldn't even make it to the bye, these two teams here, but should be a pretty awesome game still. Maybe better, right? All right. Man City is favored in this game at home here by a half a goal. Total 3.5 under, minus $1.35 or so here in this one. And, Man City, they've had their share of issues for sure. In fact, Real Madrid's actually, the hotter team coming in, I guess, from where they qualified, if you just count Champions League games in particular. After all, Manchester City was a dismal 1-3 as a favorite in group stage play. And Real Madrid, they did go for, let's see, they were covering some numbers for sure on the handicap line, but man, this is still a tough game. I'll see what you guys have. If you guys have any picks in this one, I kind of want to take Real Madrid, but I'm sure I should be on Man City here. I'm sure they're getting it all back together now. All right. All right, nothing, I guess. Nothing from you guys. Oh, no. All right, I'll try Man City here to win this game. That's blue set right there. No defense. That's right. So if it's going to be an over game, they're going to do it. Philly Eagle Flyer said both teams to score an over. 8.5 corners. Okay. Last one here, and that'll be it for the show. Eindhoven taking on Juventus here in this one, with Juventus favored at home here, minus a half a goal, minus $1.10 or so, right down the middle. 2.5 over, minus 130 coming into this one. Got Juventus coming in. What are they? 4-3-1 Champions League play, but PSV was an underdog just one time actually in group play, considering that group that they were in, and covered the handicap in that game. Meanwhile, Juventus was 0-3 as a favorite in group play. So see what you have here. Now, what's going to happen here, I would think, is you're going to have a first half of probably no score. Maybe one goal, but maybe no goals. And then in the second half, there's going to be the goals are going to come in probably towards the midway point of the second half. Still, Juventus 2-5-1 to the under in group play. 0-3 is a favorite in group play. One more steam play here, if I could get this out in a game we previewed with Connecticut and Creighton. We talked about the season series there in that one and the hardcore under. What was it, 5 of 6? It's getting steam to the under here. Creighton and Connecticut right now was 143.5 down to 142.5 right now. Could go lower, Connecticut and Creighton. All right, PSV and Juventus here. I'm going to take the under here as my play on the show. Like I said, I would think I'll go scoreless first half and then 1-1 in the second half. I would think that might be what could happen. Maybe it could be 2-0 Juventus. 2-1, I'm not so sure right now. Oh boy. Give me I'm going to take the under here with Eindhoven and Juventus. All right, let's see what we got here. Fernando says Real Madrid to score first. Oh, and then blue was actually under here. I think that was in this game. Hello to Billy Siegfried. Good to see you. He loved the Super Bowl. Sub says maybe over in that PSG game. Okay. See, I was thinking under myself, but I got to listen to my experts here a little bit, and I'm going with what G said. I think if you listen, the talking heads are all talking over in that game, and so. All right. Sub says shows the dominance of PSG there. 22-10-8. But again, this Brest team does feel like they've been playing about as well as they could. But Sub saying recent dominance there. All right, I guess that's it for the morning steam. Let's roll the contest here. And you can get my best plays, including my UFC UEFA Champions League plays over at winnable.com/Ramon. I've got my 3 best plays for the Champions League over there. Hopefully gave you some winners here just moments ago with some plays, but to get my best plays, head on over to winnable.com. 4 days, $4 a day, $8 a week, or $19.95 a month gets you extra content from me. We are viewer supported here on the Sports Money Network. So this is a way you support me here on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate it so much that after last night's college basketball, I'm throwing on an extra day or two for all the multi-day subscribers in there because that was bad. And I can do that because I'm in charge. All right.
Steam play.
Let's see what else here. A few more comments from the chat real quick. And let me run the contest here, and then we'll get out of here. A little steam coming in. Pick up the drawing here. Bring up the drawing. And I've hit the draw. We're underway in the drawing, by the way. Oh my gosh. Oh God, you guys, I'm screwed here. We're still going. We're at the end of the drawing. Thomas won it. It's not rigged. It is rigged. It's totally rigged. I've rigged it up for Thomas. He gets the 3-teamer. I know that looked awkward, but just because I can't even look at this, I can't even get the right screen up here. You'd think I've done this before, right? All right, Thomas wins. Thomas wins, I promise. All right. Took away all the excitement. That's the best part of the show, and I screwed it up, you guys. All right. There they were. There's Thomas's play. Thomas, I hope he wins. I hope he wins. Please win. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the Champions League today. Enjoy the coverage here. We'll also have Four Nations coverage tomorrow for sure for our game. One more steam play coming in right now. It's on Florida and Mississippi State to the over. What? Steam coming in on the over. Florida and Mississippi State. It was 151.5. It's going up here to 153.5 with Florida and Mississippi State. Is that right? I got to look it up here now. I got to look at it. 154 to the shaded to the over at Bet Online with that steam coming in right there. All right. That's going to do it. Appreciate you. Check out Mikey Money, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. You get you ready for the primetime action tonight in pro and college basketball. And he may, I don't know what the time, what is the time of that? I think you can wait till tomorrow on that coverage between Sweden and Canada. All those games are in prime time here in North America. So, all right, we'll just have the Tuesday action tonight. Oh, by the way, please join me. Biggest announcement here of the show. Please join me today over here at the channel at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific with VB MMA Picks. We'll preview the action for UFC Fight Night. Cannonier versus Rodriguez on Saturday. We'll also preview 2 other bouts, BB and his special guest. Previewing this week's fight card here for UFC Fight Night on Saturday from the Apex here in Las Vegas. We'll also have later Wednesday, of course, the release of First Strike. So we got you covered here. And our new UFC preview shows on Saturday in advance of the card and our live companion coverage. So we've got you covered with UFC here on the Sports Money Network. So join me there. I'm going to be ready. I'm getting ready for that show. But all right, catch you guys tomorrow. More morning steam for the Sports Money Network. I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money.